And these guys have been popping off so far throughout the entirety of this Pro Series. And just the fact that both these players are stepping up when their teams needs them, Bluey, is exactly why they're star players for both their rosters.
Yeah, you know, look, we had some very star-studded performances for aBenjy, especially on Recharge, having that shock rifle, just getting back-to-back headshots over and over again. Just beautiful, clean, sweeping, decisive shots. But man, look at Deano's stats. Look at that total KD 1.96, the damage differential between the two players there. Deano is, you know, Deano's top dog right now. I think he has a lot to prove coming into this series, facing off against Final Form once again. As we get into it, man, you know what? Honestly, Inman, I don't know how we can really place bets on who's going to take this match, but as we come into it, Strongholds live fire. Let's see how these two teams go at each other off the rip. It's going to be a hell of a watch. We are in the grand finals. Let's get into it, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely pumped for it, guys. It's been a long day, but grand final time, it's here. Now, don't forget, you've got Direwolves coming up from the lower bracket. They need to not only win this series, but then a bracket reset if it goes that far to claim the #1 spot today. But Junior and the rest of Final Form have been waiting, itching to wrap this one up and put a bow on it. The victory over Direwolves. We'll see how it all unfolds. We are going to be here on Strongholds. It's live fire, and off the rip, it is going to be the first points towards Final Form to get things started, Bluey.
Junior, right now we've been on his POV for a little while now, just sort of taking positions around the map, getting his team enough information, being a bit ratty with it. They knew the spawns were going to come out from A, so they quickly rotated towards C, but that being said, they're already losing B as well. Nice little super slide coming out from Junior there as he goes down that ramp. That quick flick back over to the team member from Direwolves over on Sandbags, just getting that information to his team on where the rollout is coming from Direwolves. Two members of Direwolves go down quite quickly, and they all sort of stationed up in this B sort of mud position. Deano going to try and sneak around back tower, make a play here. Not entirely sure if there are any players over on C. It doesn't appear to be. Actually, no, I'm wrong. Jordon was there the entire time, just sitting with the heat wave waiting for it.
Yeah, set the trap. It was sprung. Jordon gets him with that heat wave. Board. He has what's left of this sniper with him. Zerkil top mid as well. Does see one player working his way towards B, but after Zerkil's dropped top mid, focuses his attention that way. Now, unfortunately, he has to back up. And to be honest, although he's going to be losing B, I don't mind that. When you've got the montage maker in the back pocket, you really want to hold on to that. Overshield's coming up as well. Very wise to back off and just try and get map control over here, right?
Yeah, exactly. Bald just making some smart decisions, but overall that one wasn't. Don't know about the little how overzealous that shot was there, but hey, when you caught out, you caught out. Unfortunately, that means they do lose sniper. I'm pretty sure there was ammo left in it, but it doesn't really matter. Deano has the overshield here. That was a daring little play from Ninjestics going for the ninja. Trying to make the flashy play. Must know he's on main stage right now. Back and forth with these points, it seems. A and C now in the hands of Direwolves. They need to start ticking up this time, getting as close to Final Form as they are, because Final Form just seems to be on their tail consistently, making sure that they never really have any of these points to catch up on. And as I say that, a triple cap coming out from Direwolves and answering my prayers, it seems, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, answering all of our prayers, I think. You got Jordon here and Junior both picking up kills for Final Form. Vaampt trying to answer back while he can, and the points are still being racked up for the Direwolves despite them not having the numbers. We should see that change in just a moment with B being captured, but you can see C over here with Vaampt still putting the work in. 5 and 5, fresh snipe in hand as well. If anyone can use it, it's gonna be Vaampt. The no scope there to pick up one, looking towards the players over at C, just working his way top mid. Not a fear in the world. Now, he might be punished for it, or you know what? He might just collect some scalps as well. Picks up one, and Ninjestics, though, too good. And I tell you what, look, if we gas Vaampt, we can break him down a little bit. And I think that was probably a little too aggressive from him, I would say, Bluey.
Absolutely. I think he overstayed his welcome on that too long, especially when you have a player like Ninjestics just doing that crouch strafe around that center pole under tower there. You're going to be really counting your lucky stars if you think you can hit a no-scope on that, or you have to be barcode. But in this case, you know, Vaampt is Vaampt. He's close enough, but not quite there yet. Doing a fantastic job, though, with those snipes. Unfortunately for him, though, that little overzealous challenge did warrant a bit of a reset on spawns for him and his team, not being able to hold this C possession for much longer, and we do see Final Form, as I'm just saying that, they have A, they have B, and it looks like they're trying to make a push for C as well. Deano is one shot, does get taken out, and we are going to see a triple cap come out from Final Form.
Yeah, they're looking so good right now. You know, it has to be said. They are down, though, after Direwolves had a fairly handy lead there after getting some great map and power weapon control. But here comes Junior and the rest of Final Form. Heat Wave, Overshield, you've got the toys, and he's going to be putting them to use as well. Triple cap still in effect, and you look, they try to capture C, they try to do what they can, but it's just reset like that. Junior should be turning his attention back towards bottom mid, and indeed he does. Gets the kill assist, so many points. Down by 20 or 30 points, and now thanks to that triple, in an instant, Bluey, they're up by 30.
Yeah, I know how quickly that time ticks up when you have a triple cap, and it's not something that you really often see for as long as a period of time as we just saw it then. Super unfortunate for Direwolves because now they have a lot to answer for, especially when Final Form, sorry, looks like they're just going to retake this A point again with Junior, but both B and C ticking up in favor of the Direwolves right now. C, though, capped so quickly and then falling back in the favor of Final Form. It's just so back and forth, but Final Form seem to just be the ones consistently on top.
How long has Junior been alive here? And look at that, just by half a second less, in fact, missing out on that, defending that A cap. He does pick up the kill and captures right back. He is still in his life. I don't know how long this has been. It feels like a long time, Blue. 2 minutes, maybe? 90 seconds, 2 minutes, which is a long time in a game of Halo that he's been able to stay alive, and he's still racking up kills. We'll soon see by what kind of streak he's on. He's 9 and 7 right now. Got the assist. Oh, I thought it was going to end right there. He was tickled a little bit too much. Going to be forced back. Now, expecting the player to drop down low. It was a good prediction because there he is. But he gets the clean, and there he is with the killing spree. Yeah, nice. I expected more, but, you know, it needs to be said. He's just been putting a lot of damage out. He didn't see that he still had the repulsor. That's fine. I do that all the time as well. Good. Nice to know you're human, Junior. Picks up the fresh snipers. Whoa, that was looking close. I'll tell you what, it really has been the Junior highlight reel right now, and with this snipe, and look at that heads up play. You know what he was waiting for? He was just waiting for the player to pop back up again. Yep. And he expected that, and he's just looking everywhere, shooting everywhere. Finally, the monster's gonna be dropped, but what a run. Like, I applaud that.
Fantastic run, yeah, from Junior there. Unfortunately, he did hand over the sniper to the hands of Deano, a player that, of course, highlighted before for his consistent sort of overperformance in KD and damage in general, now giving it to the hands of such a scary player, such a monster. That being said, he does get his head taken clean off by that BR right quick. Unfortunately, didn't make much use of that sniper, but hey, what can you do when you get collapsed by 2 players? Vaampt deciding just to back off a little bit. I like this play, deciding not to challenge, just to fall back to his teammates, hoping they can gain a little more ground here and recoup some of the losses that they might face in the next couple of seconds. They are still down score-wise for this. B and C both in the hands of Direwolves as they are ticking up themselves. Looks like they're going to play a little bit smart here. Just get this triple cap because they know that Final Form is going to have this C spawn.
Deano with that snipe in hand, 3 bullets in the mag. We'll see what he can do with them. He's 12 and 11 right now. He's got a few assists to his name as well. Getting the call out. Gets some tickle on one player over Nessa and cleans up one. Tries to repulse that nade away, but it wasn't going to be able to repulse the bullets away from Final Form. Look at this, A and B simultaneously being captured by Final Form, which is critical when they were down by a triple cap. B being stalled, Final Form gets cleaned up. That's Jordon who falls. Direwolves looking good here after what has been a massive and insane back and forth between these two teams. I would be shocked, except that this is exactly what we got throughout the first series. It seems that these rosters and Direwolves, the way they're playing, you know, on the good side of the bed, they seem really evenly matched.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. It seems like a very 50-50 again. I think it was mentioned just before this grand final started, and even when they had that first match facing off each other earlier in the evening, it's very hard to pin what team is going to be what, right? What team is going to perform better than the other. Such a good shot coming out from Zerkil to take off that OS. Can't quite capture the kill though. The triple cap once again in favor of Final Form. We're going to see this time begin to tick up very, very quickly once more.
Ninjestics here, along with the rest of Final Form squad, doing what they can to try and reassert their lead and their dominance here in this game. They do have the triple cap, so Direwolves need to stem the bleeding. Bald's the only one left alive that can do that. He's over on A, but look at the collapse. Here it comes. They've got the power weapons. Benji picks up one, Junior another. Oh, he connects with the sniper as well, cleans it up. Vaampt is going to fall there. Surely he's one shot. Oh, he does stay alive. Cleaned up there by Jordon. Final few points here. A's being challenged, but the triple cap's still in effect, at least for the moment. Even if they cap A, it's going to be done unless they can defend B. Oh, they forgot about B. Nice little connect there. Oh, wow. That was dirty. That was dirty. Honestly, that was a nice little scope there. Points going to be racked up here. They need to watch A. A's going to be triple cap. There we go. This should be wrapped up. Final form here.
There you go.
Live fire, Strongholds, wrapping it up in what was a fairly convincing fashion towards the end, but you cannot say that the whole game was convincing, not by any means. Not when you're in front as final form. You're in front by 50, 60 points, whatever it is, and then just like that, it gets flipped on your head. Wow, what a game. And I really do hope this is just some of what's still to come throughout this series, because these two juggernauts are really, they're still swinging haymakers, Bluey.
Oh, absolutely. Look, that being said, Zerkil, 9-21. Super unfortunate scoreline for him, especially when you had absolute monsters on the side of final form. Jordon going 25-10. Benji, 25-11. Benji with 20-9. You know, you need every player on the front foot. Even Balls wasn't performing too well there as well. So I think overall, when you count everything out in the game, especially how many times that final form had the triple cap locked down on Direwolves, Final Form just played a better game. I think they played Strongholds live fire, that rotational game, just better, more convincingly, and just overall had the map way more down on lock than at any point that Direwolves did.
When you've got players gone 25-11 and 19-9, that really helps a lot, you know. And Benji, with that stat we saw coming into this game, getting more than a 2.0 KD is going to be really helpful for his stats as well. Just like those no-scopes are going to be good for Vaampt as well moving forward. But look, I just want to pay attention to the scoreline. 100-60 right now. And that was with Direwolves in front. Then you got a triple cap. Final form back in front. 145-103. And then it turns back around before you know it. Look, here's your 60-point gap between these two teams. And the blue team, Direwolves, they actually turn it around at some point here. Look, here it comes. But it's Jordon who helps to stop that bleeding. And before you know it, it's all she wrote, and Final Form wrap things up.
Look, you know, to be fair, we did sort of give it to Zerkil just then, but he did drop a little message in the Twitch chat. It's 2 a.m. with work in 5 hours. Don't worry, Zerkil, I'm going to write you a doctor's note. You don't have to go in tomorrow, mate. I got your back. Anyway, going into game 2 here. Slayer Streets. Look, Josh, I want to put money down on the table right now, and you can chase me up for it later. You know, I don't have cash on hand, but let's say hypothetically I'm putting money down on your table, on your dining table. I think Final Form have this map in the bag. With how strong their Slayer game was just before and how consistently we've seen them outslaying Direwolves, I feel like they're going to take this one pretty convincingly.
Yeah, look, I tell you what, let's go a step further, Bluey. You and I together rarely do predictions, but just predict a scoreline for me.
Oh man, you actually want me to put numbers to it?
Yeah, go on. You said convincingly. What's convincingly?
Okay. I think it'll be 50-40.
50-40?
I think that's still a convincing score. I think the 10, especially in this range, like the 10 kill difference with how these teams are so closely knit, I think that's a very convincing win for Final Form.
All right, 50-40. Before it gets too far, I'm going to say 50-48. I think Direwolves are still very much in it. They're very well versed. Look, it's just getting late. I think it'll be close. Let's see how it unfolds. Either way, I think what should be taken away from both our predictions is we're both thinking Final Form are going to take this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Final Form have just been playing stronger Halo at the moment, and I think they have the advantage that Direwolves don't, in which it's not as late in Australia as it is for all the boys over in New Zealand. They're still playing very, very well, but there comes that aspect which I don't think, it's a bit meta. A lot of people don't really bring it up, especially when it comes to, esports, but if you've been playing a long day of, in this case Halo or any video game, it definitely does start to wear you down. You're not paying attention to as much as what you need to. You're not making those flicks as convincingly as you need to. You're not responding to comms as fast as you need to be. All these things culminate into losses, into you underperforming, and I think that's might be where Direwolves kind of might fall short tonight.
Oh, dude, we're talking about the game, not playing the game, and I'm feeling mentally doughy after a day like today, so I can only imagine how they feel, and, you know, that's the thing. You really have to be a high-level competitor to understand the stresses and fatigue that can hit you. Like, yes, you know, there's people who say, oh, you know, it's not a sport, and the other people are like, oh, it's just a video game. Yeah, I get it. You're right, but also, have you actually ever done it? Because it is tiring. Anyway, look, I'm getting sidetracked with conversations that blow up on Twitter. 15-10 is the score right now. Final form looking good. aBenjy with the Rockets as well. And aBenjy, you know, 3-3. That's not the 2.0 KD that we expect from you, friend. You know, we've got high expectations now. Hopefully, he'll be able to show off a little bit. Balls 0-5. Rough start for the fearless leader of the Direwolf squad. We'll see if he can come back from that one. Look at this. That's some good use. That's a nice Rockets. I love what I saw. Beautiful stuff.
Fantastic for what he did there. Instantly knew that he got the other player, turned around, knew that he was at the back wall. Quickly pulled out that BR because he knew that the Rocket wasn't going to kill. Just finished him off with a quick headshot. So decisive, so quick. You know, that's what we love to see, especially from high-level Halo. It's the decision-making that also is make or break. It's not just the mechanics, but it's being able to make those quick decisions and then being able to follow them up with the shots that count. That's exactly what aBenjy managed to do there. And in fact, something that aBenjy has been managing to do pretty much all night.
And, you know, aBenjy's one of those guys that I kind of really realized back in, like, the Super, where I've always shouted him out since, you know, he made his conversion over to Halo, but I think it's really recently in the last few months that I've just really understood how much he stands out. And, you know, I think although we gas him a little bit, I feel like I don't do it enough. So, props to you, aBenjy. Here it is, mate. I don't know if this is your best game, going even money on the KD, but you certainly get the respect from me, friend.
You're certainly respectable, certainly, you know, very strong, strong-minded player, very dedicated to the grind as well. He's someone that, especially in the early days of Infinite, was always on, was always playing as he converted from, you know, another shooter title, came over to Halo, and then just kept playing every single day, every single night for as long as he did. And obviously all that kind of stuff has paid off with how well he's been playing, you know, throughout all the Opens, throughout all these HCS events we've had in Australia. And of course in the future as well, he's just going to do even more. But I think that's enough gas under, you know, under him, Josh. I feel like we've given him enough at this point. So let's turn over to the game. Look at this scoreline right now. 32-27 in favor of Final Form. So Direwolves are still managing to keep themselves up, a little more propped up, especially than I thought they were going to be. But as I'm saying, scorelines have a history of bloating out very, very quickly as soon as the snowball gets going, especially on streets. As soon as those spawn traps get going, you're seeing 4 drop one after another, and that's where, you know, these scores become more and more inflated, and one team obviously gets ahead of the other, and, you know, will start to bend, mental starts to break, and then, you know, that's it.
Speaking of mental start to break, who's going to break first here? You can see both teams just biding their time. aBenjy was just spotted there by Zerkil. Zerkil backing up, which, you know, I like that. He's got the rockets. One thing we all hate is wasted rockets. I'm just, you know, waiting for the right time. Deano here might be used to kind of poke, but then not. Here we go. Ball actually poked in and got a kill with the rockets. Vaampt actually gets another. That leaves Jordon and Junior. So Zerkil looking for it. Oh, look at that timing. Picks up one. Wow, that must have been great communication for the squad. Spots Junior, long-range rocket. I don't like. Come on, mate.
Oh, it connected.
Yeah.
Not enough damage for a kill, though.
Yeah, a little go.
And he is one, so...
All right, it counts. We'll give it to him. There you go. Zerkil picks it up.
Clean up.
35-33, your score right now. Final form. Still in front, but it's looking shaky, Bluey.
Yeah, it's looking a lot closer than what I thought it would be, especially at this stage, but both teams have managed to slow down the game a lot. You can see how passively both of them are playing, which I think, especially coming off of the back end of that live fire Strongholds game, isn't something that I expected to see on Final Form. I thought they were really going to start to dominate, take control of this map, really look at and pay attention to the spawns, hold them quite convincingly. But we are going to see a rotation for Rockets now, most likely. Zerkil does spot Junior sitting on top of the trash. Not sure, Oscar the Grouch, if you could hang around there longer than what you thought, but he is done now. And Zerkil is going to be rotating around the map, flying around, trying to pick up kills with these rockets. Hopefully he can put them to good use.
Zerkil hopefully can put them to use. 40 to 37. Final form on the back foot here. And again, they're the ones looking to wrap things up here, but Zerkil's on a killing spree. He got good use out of the rockets. Zerkil and Vaampt both fall. Deano follows suit. Ball, the only one left alone for a moment there. Junior's going to find him. You can see there, Junior does get the call out. Vaampt able to pick up 2, though. 3 points separating these two teams here in map number 2 here of our grand final. As a reminder, guys, it was Final Form that won in Game 5 of our winners bracket final. Direwolves looking for the bracket reset here if they can win this series. Jordon spots a wild ball balled out of place. Zerkil gets Ninjestics over in the background. 45-43. Things slow down a little bit as both teams trying to vie for the advantage. Zerkil, bat out of hell, flying around the corner. There's going to be 3 players here for the blue team. They collapse in on Jordon. Ooh. Jordon trying to get away. There is going to be a teammate in mid. Jordon, surely the ball's going to know where he's hiding. Surely ball actually goes down.
He gets caught out.
No way. 2 kills now separating these two teams. Deano gets Junior spotted from behind. It's going to be Zerkil. Looks like it's going to be cleaned up right here, guys and gals. This is why casters don't play the game. We can't call crap. It's going to be Direwolves maybe wrapping this up. They only need 1. There it is, and it's the Hail Mary nade to do it. 50-46. Direwolves answer back with a left hook to not only Final Form, but to our predictions here. Look, I'm going to say that I was not more right, but I was less wrong than you, Bluey.
Yeah, just you know what? Fair. I'm willing to take that one, in all honesty. What really crushes me is that the game was as much of a nail-biter as it was, obviously in the hands of Direwolves, but it wasn't a gun battle that won him. It was a Halo Infinite Hail Mary nade, so just how it is sometimes, I guess.
Or it was just a Vaampt, you know, popping 20. Yeah. He came to play. Like, that's how he's been going off, you know. And I just want to point out how consistent the kills were on the opposing team for Final Form. I think it was 12-12, 11-11, just when it came to kills at least. But, you know, if you've got a Vaampt on your team, you can just pop off.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's the kind of star power, that's the kind of Slayer power you need in a Slayer match. And fortunately for them, Vaampt was able to carry that through and through. You know, excellent performance coming out of him. You know, the killing spree as well just shows how long he was able to play his life for in certain circumstances. Good stuff overall. But yeah, honestly, Inman, like, this is me taking that my prediction was wrong. I'm still very, very surprised that Final Form sort of lost in the way they did. It just seems like they were doing so well in the early game. In the beginning, they bloated out a lead quite well, and then Direwolves just kept inching it out more and more and more and more. And they just played the slow game better than I think what Final Form was able to.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you said that, because what I noticed was that it was Final Form, when they get a kill, it was those little unforced errors. So let's take, for example, when a couple of, you know, when you get a kill, and rather than composing yourself, waiting for a teammate to come up beside you or getting your positioning right, you kind of try and ride the momentum. And I know that can work some of the time, a lot of the time. It wasn't working for Final Form this time around. You would see a player, let's say aBenjy, able to get a kill, try and push out, or keep pushing forward, but there was no one really in a position to get the team shot on, and they will take it down. Anyway, no matter what it was, Direwolves are making this into a series, and we've got King of the Hill on Recharge up next, Bluey.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I'm going to put it out there. King of the Hill on Recharge, for me, like, I've been having nightmares about it. I've been playing a ton of matchmaking lately, and every time I get King of the Hill on Recharge, I start shaking. My femur bones start quivering internally. This is a hard-fought match. There's so many grenades coming in from every single angle. The spawns come down from high, low, everywhere. There's so much that you have to pay attention to on this. And at a higher competitive level, it's just even more stressful. It's tenfold stressful. What I've tend to see, like, that plays out on this map, especially at high-level competitive nature, is that the hill isn't really a priority for a good chunk of the game. That being said, Ball immediately jumping into it gets a little bit of a tick up, but we're going to be seeing slays come in back and forth for ages, because the first hill being down in Mangle Pit right here is so tough to be able to hold for a good period of time.
aBenjy's going to be doing what he can just to stay alive. Got Junior coming in, playing a bit of a distraction, but Ball down the hall spots him, cleans up that kill, And, you know, you said it's not really the hill's not really a priority for a good chunk of the game. You know, they're playing like I do in matchmaking, you know. It needs to object. No, I'm kidding. I'm the ball guy, I promise. But, yeah, look, I think both of these teams, even though they're the best, at least in today's competition, I think they're still trying to, you know, figure out how they want to play hill as well. So, anyway, early lead here to Direwolves. And they're looking like that they're going to have good map positioning here. Thanks for the view observers. Great job, production team. A couple of players down low. Zerkil is going to be just near the grapple and trying to spot where these players are coming from. All 4 players of Final Form working their way around lift. And is it just me or does Ninjestics look AFK? Yes, he was.
That was... Yeah, Ninjestics.
Yep,
Jordon
he's gone.
going as well. Okay, so I guess we'll get a word from... the referees, the judges, as to what exactly is happening there. It looks like in all likelihood it'll be some kind of a reset. I'm getting the word that apparently it is somewhat of a play for now, but you know, that being said, I will say from my matchmaking experiences, going up in a 3v4 on King of the Hill, especially on Recharge, is a hard-fought battle, Inman. Don't know about you.
Final Form, and then of course we just came off that Streets matchup where Direwolves caused what I think was fair to say, at least for us, Blue, a bit of an upset. We'll continue on now, guys, as we are getting into this Recharge, King of the Hill. We're on with Ninjestics as he goes down. 3 players already going to be dropped off the start. That was very, very quick. Junior here for Final Form, trying to do what he can along with Jordon to keep the dream alive for the team. This first heal down bottom mid makes it very difficult. A little easier for Deano, though, who's got that camo.
Always interesting to see after a reset how a team sort of adapts their play style. Deano, very unfortunate use of the camo here, not what he would have wanted, and I feel like coming off of the back of the reset, Final Form are just deciding to play this a little bit more aggressively than what they did in the beginning. Yes, they did go down 3 players at the start of the game, but it just looks like they're making more of a beeline for that hill, trying to milk as much time as possible, capitalizing on even those singles kills as much as they can, and just keeping as many people's eyes on the hill as much as possible throughout the opening minutes of the game here.
Junior, we just saw drop there by Balls, who I think picked up a nice little double there as all 4 players from Final Form were down and now going to be racking up some time here in this hill, which they need to do. You can see there, bottom mid of your screen, it was Final Form who had a healthy lead on this hill, but Direwolves answering back, even off spawn there. These guys are getting cleaned up. Junior, Jordon, both being dropped, and that's thanks to that Direwolves player who was going to be over in top pipes. Junior, though, does clean out that player, and now would be able to return volley, but not before Direwolves have almost completed this hill. It looks like down in the final second, Vaampt being the hero that they need to come in and keep the dream alive. Now you've got 2 players from Final Form coming in, and yet again, look how close it was, Bluey. I can't believe how many times we've seen that clutch stoppage from one of these teams.
Yep, the hair that is left on that little bar there, just waiting to be capped off. Unfortunately, it's going to take a little bit of a hard fight for Final Form to be able to take this hill. Hopefully, they're able to use this camo to their advantage. They should. The communication should come out. Get balls out of the hill. Nice. Good kills coming out from Final Form there. Final Form do go 3 down. Jordon is last one alive. He can only do so much to stop that hill. And these shots coming out from Jordon with the shock rifle might be enough. Triple kill. Almost lands the headshot on Balls for the over. There's so much havoc. This is exactly what I was talking about, Inman. The nades, the chaos, the amount of gunfire explosions that ring out on the bottom point of this map. It's just too much. They're keeping this hill alive by a fraction. It looks like Final Form might just have it in them with aBenjy securing that double kill, and they do in fact get it. This is what I mean, and that's only the first hill, Josh.
Yeah, I can't believe, well, I can believe it, but it's almost impossible to believe that Final Form were actually able to bring that hill back. They had the bar about halfway, and Direwolves, I'm not being hyperbolic when I say I think it was like 1 or 2 seconds that they would have needed in that hill, and yet Final Form were able to cap it. You know, that's impressive stuff, and credit to Final Form for having, you know, the tenacity to stay in the fight and take that hill. Now, as we say that, it's still hotly contested as we move on to the next one, and yeah, it's so back and forth. Now, we talk about you know, it was a previous series, I believe, Blue, where we were talking about, you know, I made the comment that something was scrappy and you commented that it was decisive. And in hindsight, I think you were correct. Now, is this decisive gameplay or is it scrappy gameplay? Or is it just decisive mayhem? Because I find it hard to define both.
I think controlled chaos is also a good word for it.
Controlled chaos. I like that.
There's so much on like King of the Hill game modes that, you know, you have to work for, so much pressure that you have to apply on the maps at all times, so much that you have to be aware of. And the fact that also, like, you're pretty much a stationary target when you're in that hill. There's only so much that you can do in order to secure that cap time. And you're basically just having to survive, thrive with yourself and with your team in order to make the most of the time in the hill. It's just, there's so much that you have to be aware of. It's definitely the most chaotic game mode that we currently have in the HCS.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, it has its own entertainment value and the kind of, you know, instead of seeing some kind of artistic film, if that was what Halo normally is, this is like a Michael Bay film where it's just, you know, fireworks in action, which is basically what you expect, right? The amount of nades, and it's just insanity. It's hard to follow, but you enjoy the show.
Yeah. Too right, Josh. Like, that's the best way I think I can describe it. I think a Michael Bay experience is very apt, especially for the King of the Hill. You know, it's just the nades just constantly going off every single time. You know, during all that discussion though, Final Form did go up another hill after they caught that one from, you know, bottom mid, Mangler Pit, if you will. They managed to secure that one for themselves, and then they go on to the second one pretty convincingly, I would say, holding C long haul for, you know, pretty much the majority of the time. Bald picking up a little Hill Guardian medal there, which I believe is, I actually can't remember how many seconds that has to be in the hill, but it is quite a good chunk of time for himself. That being said, 3 members of Final Form do go down, so hopefully Direwolf should be able to secure a hill for themselves this time. Time is ticking away, and it looks like the spawns for Final Form won't enable them to get in this hill and stop it, so it is 2-1 in favor of Final Form.
Compared to the first 2 hills, like, that was so easy for Direwolves. Like, I mean, all they needed was 2 solid rounds of kills, or cycles of kills on Final Form, and they had it. So it may happen again. We'll have to see. Jordon, Ninjestics, and Junior are all in fantastic positioning here. Junior's going to get the call-outs when Ninjestics gets that nade. Meanwhile, he needs to watch his back because Vamp's there. Now Deano comes on in, and Ball's there as well. Look at that.
Oh
Repulsor,
my God.
I swear that looked like 2 repulsors, but what I think happened was the repulsor was into the crate there. But in any case, that was really cool. And 3 players, Direwolves down, and now this hill may just be captured by Final Form. 1 more round of slaying and they'll be okay. I love that Repulse play.
The Repulse was fantastic, but unfortunately, how many nades can you stop with a Repulsor when they're just coming at you back to back to back? You know, it's, what was the line from was it 300 where they said our arrows will blot out the sun? Well, in Recharge King of the Hills case, it's grenades. You cannot see anything throughout the grenades flying at you from the sky, and then the smoke itself. You know, the Repulsor can only do so much to fend off, and I think this point in particular, down in blue pipes, is one of the most criminal examples of that. You have to be so close knit to each other because there's only so much space in the hill to take control of. You pretty much fall victim to the nades at some point. It just comes down to how much hill time do you actually manage to secure before you go down.
1 more hill about to be captured here by Final Form, but Deano goes clutch. You know, speaking of that repulsor and speaking of nades, here's something I'd like to divert us a little bit on. What is your opinion if I said to you that I think there should be close to 0 cooldown on equipment? Like, I think that you should be able to repulse as fast as you could throw nades.
No. Are you kidding?
I think it would be so fun just to see. Can you imagine, like, someone's, okay, like, where we've got Vaampt here down in the tunnel. Someone drops down, repulse. Another one drops down, repulse. I just think it would be fun.
Yeah, Josh, but then
Take out your competitive side. Come on, Bluey.
No, because imagine you going into matchmaking and experiencing that. You'd be like, oh, this is broken. I'm not having fun playing this.
Yeah,
so,
but just change the cooldown on how often the repulsor spawns. Like, it's not everyone running around with 3 repulsors they could use in like 3 seconds. But
yeah, I suppose something like that. Look, that isn't to say there's probably a few tweaks that need to be made overall to some of these things. You know, I'm a firm advocate for some changes being made to the grenades, but I highly doubt repulsor spam is one that we want to be seeing in the future, Josh. So can't really say that I'm on your side for that one. Getting back into the game here, looks like Direwolves are kind of struggling to get into this this hill. They did manage to tie up the score, taking out blue pipes quite well. The grenade's working in their favor, obviously. Deano right now in hill. With this camo, going to see how much work he's going to be able to do, and it looks like he's just going to try and be sneaky, take out the players in gold pipes. I don't know if he can spot that there's two there. Manages to miss the melee, but still gets out with his life, but I think he's going to be caught out now. Does manage to pick up a double before he goes down, though, so still making excellent use of that life before he did fall.
Jordon, we see there, is going to be taken down after picking up a kill. 2 hills apiece, and this current 5th hill is fairly even. You know, and I know we're being repetitive, Blue, but we've said it. You know, you can't call it between these two teams. After watching a full series, plus now what? This will be the 3rd map of this series, so you know, call it 2 series really. I don't think there's anything definitive between these two teams that I think separates them. Like I can't say, oh yeah, I think that there's probably a little bit more gun skill on one side, but the positioning or the way that they move together is not so good. Like, I don't think there's anything specific that I can go, this is what separates Direwolves from Final Form. The only thing I can point to objectively that has separated them so far is individual plays. When aBenjy pops off, gets 26 kills compared to, 10 of everyone else. Or Vaampt, say, for example, was just playing out of his freaking mind. Because when everyone's playing fairly evenly on each team, I mean, you can't separate the teams.
Yeah, it's definitely the moment-to-moment decision-making that really separates, I think, these players coming down to those individual plays. It's what they do once that play is made. We saw aBenjy on Recharge before with the shock rifle getting those kills, and instead of just trying to ego in for more, he'd sort of back off and make sure to let his team know that they have a bit of space to work with rather than just try to greed for all the kills. And that's, especially at high-level Halo, is one of the things that definitely differentiates a lot of teams from each other. And that's why I think right now it's so hard to tell between these two teams that we're observing right now, which one is the one that's going to come out on top. Yes, I agree with your points. I think Final Form are the people who have those snappier sort of moment-to-moment decision-making skills, those individual playing skills. But then Direwolves as a collective still manages to bounce back over and over again.
Final Form trying to do what they can. They're up with this by 1 hill. And they're trying to wrap things up. And Bluey, I think this, it's scrappy at the moment, but it may come down to the timer. In fact, I could almost guarantee it the way this game is unfolding. So I think if you're Final Form, you're quite happy just to not actually go in this hill, just kind of defend it. It seems less risky to try and just stay out of it and let the timer run down, right?
To somewhat extent, excuse me,
it's a bit like
getting
that.
Very late here. Yep. To some extent, I agree. But that being said, you don't want to find yourself in a scenario where you're just giving Direwolves free time over and over again to the point where they actually manage to cap a hill, because that's something that can quickly leave your hands faster than you would expect. Direwolves might just keep throwing bodies on this hill, ticking it away inch by inch, and then you're in an all tied up game, and then there's only 30 seconds left on the clock, and then realistically no one can really do anything with that, right? So they don't want to put themselves into a position where they're having to tie the game and then go into another one to make amends to that tie, right? They just want to get it done as quickly as possible. And I'm really hoping Final Form right now just plays this defensive game, if that's what they're going for, smarter than what it seems to be they are. They are getting a fair chunk of time right now, so I think if they can cap this hill, make the score 4-2, it's going to be, near impossible for Direwolves to bounce back.
I actually love that play by Ninjestics. Given how defensive Final Form were being, I don't think Direwolves expected the flank, but that's exactly what happened. And Ninjestics was put in a really, really good spot, stopped the push from Direwolves, but as I say that, 3 players were taken down. Direwolves able to get that hill control at least for a little bit, and now Final Form off the spawn, it's looking rough for them. And Direwolves, they've got an opportunity for this cap.
Direwolves have, I believe it's 2 players down on hill, which makes it even harder to remove them off of that point. Deano just trying to watch spawns from bottom elevator as much as possible. Time is ticking away in favor of Direwolves. We did see, I believe it was Junior, just quickly jump on hill, try to stop it there. But we're getting into that position that I said before. The defensive game kind of came back, bit them in the arse a little bit, Josh. I'm going to be honest. Now in a 3-3 situation, both things are tied up. Next hill is on C long. But they're going to have to, one of these teams is actually going to have to cap this hill, otherwise we're headed for a tie game, and then we need a tiebreaker game, which I don't think either of these teams would want at the moment.
No, and it's looking like Final Form really doesn't want it because they're on the hill, they're about halfway captured right now.
looking to do what they can. It's now going to be Direwolves who look to be in control of that hill now after clearing out a couple of players. Jordan's calling out bats, so expect a player over there. And here we go. We've now got 4 players together, actually, over on C Plat. And now they've got a good opportunity here. aBenjy, though, needs to watch it. Just doing the poke and shoot with that shock rifle. Nice movement. Good to get out of there, but he doesn't see the fact that it's a player behind. Junior, though, with the sword, gets the double kill as well. No. Looking for more. Oh, if that player didn't come up on C Plat, there was massive potential there. Absolutely. Unfortunately, though, it was just one of those crucial moments where didn't really seem to be paying attention to spawns as much, didn't have the communication from his team as to where everyone was spawning. Now we find ourselves in a pretty hard-fought situation. 56 seconds left on the clock, and it's going to take for one of these teams to pretty much sit in the hill for as long as possible. I think that, you know, if this hill manages to go in favor of either of the teams, that's game, Inman. You know, that's match for Hill on Recharge. Unfortunately for Final Form, they can't just seem to get their footing onto Direwolves right now. Yeah, they get so close and then just drop it. Like, it's... I don't really know, you know. Direwolves just are able to shift the momentum so much, get an advantage, get a good spawn, and able to capitalize on it. But look, as I say that, I thought Direwolves going to wrap up this point, and it looks like Final Form have an opportunity to do that. Here you go, you got 2v2 over, just there you go, PC, and there you go, yeah. It's actually going to be a victory to Final Form. I tell you what, 4-3. I haven't seen for a long time this many games so close between two teams, because you got to remember it was, you know, 1 for 1 for 1 for 1. It went to the 5th game, and now we're again going Final Form, Direwolves, Final Form. I think we might be going the distance again. It feels like that's definitely what it's going to be. Again, if you want me to put money or put some kind of prediction on who's going to take this away, are we going to see a bracket reset? Are we just going to see, you know, Final Form run away with it? At this point, I don't know. They did manage to pull through at the end of that hill game there. Quite decisively managed to actually get themselves into the hill, hold it for long enough just to wrap out the game. And I think that says a lot as where their mental is right now. They don't want to play through a bracket reset, Josh. I don't think Direwolves really want to either. I think Direwolves would probably prefer to go to the distance, but at the same time, they're looking at that pillow, they're looking at their blankets and thinking, if I could just hit the hay right now, I think that might be more beneficial. But, you know, they don't want to just give it to Final Form, right? No one wants to in that position. Yeah, it's so tough to say. I'm set on that position of, you know, I'm set on the position that I don't think any of them are like, let's just go to bed. I'm set that they all want to continue trying. Now it's like, can they physically do that? And even if it, again, it's kind of hard, you know, let's say that Final Form win this. It's so unfair to go, oh yeah, Direwolves have fallen asleep at the sticks, literally. Like, they've just been playing really, really good. I don't think I would want to take anything away from Final Form. And let's be real, New Zealand or not, you know, even the Aussie players on the East Coast are playing after midnight. You know, fatigue's hitting everyone. So, you know, it's hard to call what the reasoning is or what the actual outcome is. I think you've just got two bloody good teams who are very close to each other in skill. Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree. We keep harping on this point over and over again, but we think these teams are so close match, and I think that's definitely coming across in the scorelines, in the gameplay. Once again, yes, let's touch on that point of we think that the individual players on Final Form are probably a little bit stronger than Direwolves, just looking at a statistical level, looking at how they've been tracking throughout these games, one after another. But then, you know, when you compare them both on ends of, you know, a 4v4, both of these teams are so close-knit. It's so back and forth between all these games. That's why it's hard to really put money on who's gonna take it away. CTF here on Aquarius is what it's going to come down to, folks. Map number 4 here of our grand final. It should be noted that we've got just one map on the line. If Final Form are able to get this dub, they get the dub for the entire series and the entire day here in Pro Series number 5, our first Pro Series of Split 2, Season 2 here for the HCS. Active camo going straight into the hands of Ninjestics, and that is the kind of start you want here if you're Final Form. Here we go for Final Form. Are they going to be able to clutch this up and this? Send the Direwolves to bed. At the moment, it's hard to say. Decisive kills coming out from Direwolves right now with 3 going down for Final Form. Final Form did have that top mid control. Ninjestics did get camo. Unfortunately, didn't do too much work with it. Picked himself up a kill. But of course, on the other end of the board, you see Deano picking up 3 kills for the sides of Direwolves. Already does go down to Ninjestics in that instance there. But we are seeing Direwolves creep up very, very slowly onto the onto the flag of Final Form, putting a lot of pressure on them so early into the game.
That pressure, I don't know if it's being felt though. You know, they've been able to just shrug it off so far. Benji's one of those guys that doesn't seem to be feeling it. He's been a superstar throughout all of the series that we've been watching him. And I think that, you know, if you recall, in the last game we talked about what separates these teams, and I was saying that I think it's just when the superstars show up. That's the difference. I think it also happens in reverse. You know, like if Benji doesn't play the way he normally has been playing, like that could be really bad for Final Four. And of course, the same can be said for Direwolves and Vaampt. You know, if he decides that his thumbs have gone numb, then that would be a major problem for him as well. But look, tell you what, it doesn't seem to be the case for our Final Formers. They get a very quick cap, but 3 players down, this is where the counter comes into play.
Yeah, this is where the counter comes into play. I do want to highlight, I really liked what Junior was doing there before he died. He was just sitting at the back of the base, making sure to ring shots out on members of Direwolves who were trying to just put a lot of pressure on Jordon for trying to cap that flag. He did manage to stick it out long enough so they could get that flag, but I don't know. After 3 players went down, we do see Ninjestics and Abenjy in the flag for Direwolves, so it's going to be interesting to see how they answer this. Vaampt does pick up 2 kills, does go down himself, but it looks like with this this should be a cap for Direwolves, and we're already 1-1 in this map.
Oh, imagine my shock, Bluey. Imagine. You think that was a counter? Ah, we never have expected the counter after that very, I guess, a really strong push by Final Form, but with 3 down and the rest of the Direwolves guys then chasing your tail into the base. Yeah, it wasn't hard to see that was going to be a counter. Regardless, what happens next is what's going to be most vitally important. If Final Form can get a counter of their own, it looks like they're not set up for it. So credit to Direwolves after their cap, able to stay alive and get some defensive shots out to stop the onslaught from Final Form. But they need to be able to, I guess, capitalize on it. And it looks like they may just do that. 3 players down for Final Form. Now they're able to push on up. Given the timing, we should be looking out for that camo sometime soon as well. Bald getting smacked down on Junior, showing him what's up. And now you're going to have a few players here pushing in. You've got 2 players in the back of the red base here. Bald needs to watch himself. He's going to clean up one, potentially. Ninjestics is there to get some shots out. There's one.
Oh,
he didn't clean up the second one. He just wanted to get away with that flag, which, you know, probably a bad choice. Junior actually picked up 3. Deano, last one alive. And can guarantee Junior was looking for that. And again, it just shows how fast this turns around. You know, it was looking all Direwolves, and one failed push. Just like that, Final Form turning it around.
Absolutely, it was all the footing in the world, and it's gone within an instant. Exactly what I was talking about on CTF Bazaar. It happens again on CTF Aquarius. You know, you think you're playing everything perfectly moment to moment, and then it just takes that spawn push from the opposite team just to wipe everything that you've done. That being said, Direwolves seem to have bounced back quite quickly, taking out Ninjestics over on top P. Zerkil making his way into Final Form's base, sort of scouting around, gets a melee in, thrusts back. Good evade. Hopefully Zerkil can manage to just play for his life here a little bit. And doesn't, though. Gets smacked on by Jordon, sending him into the ground. Camo is up. Ninjestics is looking for it. Does go down, though. Jordon is there with the follow-up. He didn't realize he had the thrust on. Thrust right over it. Maybe it was a little bit of a bait.
Louis, so given it's 1-1, I think it's still fair to make a prediction. Here's what I want to say to you. Vaampt, 11-7. Abenjy, 4-9. On that alone, I'm going to say this is Direwolves' victory. That alone, that's where my prediction comes from. Nothing else, nothing about team play, nothing about actual, you know, it's an objective. Who gives a crap about the KD? I'm just going to use that to say, based on what we've seen.
The slaves alone are enough to...
Yep, we're going to see Direwolves win this one, based on that alone.
Especially when you've also got Deano going 13-7 as well, along with Vaampt. Very close net the 2 of them are. Getting kills back-to-back, one after another. Like, it is definitely a very tradey match, but, you know, during that, very clean run from Direwolves. So they take it up 2-1. And once again, Junior is caught out on their side of the base. A bit of OE. The nades come out strong. Balds does get deleted by a headshot over in KotH. Jordon and Ninjestics both there as well, doing as well. Junior did spawn in yellow utility, and Vaampt with a nice little reversal. We may see a bit of a push if Jordon can get some good footing here. He has the heat wave, so he has somewhat of a power advantage. Unless he falls to Deano, he does in fact trade with him, but I'm not really sure that was a worthwhile trade because all that footing, once again, is lost.
That was a confusing trade for me because I know that he didn't hit directly with those first 2 bursts, but given the rebound of the shots, he still put on a bit of damage, and then he also had that direct shot at the end. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little too tired as well, but I would have thought that he got the kill. But anyway, that wouldn't have been the silliest thing we've seen even, you know, whatever. Moving on, you've got Jordon here. He's got that camo, which was going to be very handy for the squad. The flag is going to be taken, though, by Vaampt, so he needs to watch himself. And again, he doesn't really have the support. So I do like this, though. He's going to see these players coming through, and he's going to be just setting this trap. I like it. Zerkil pushing through. Oh, they had his number. They knew what was up.
That.
I think it's because the flag was pulled that direction, so they just threw out that nade. So the flag pull itself was actually what may have stuffed that up for them.
Yeah, super unfortunate there because that was such a nice little setup, enabling them to get the kills and then the re as well. Ninjestics playing very closely with those nades. Surely he heard that player. Has to reload though. Oh, and gets the assist from Jordon in such a clutch moment. Now Ninjestics has a bit of space to work with. Deano is on his tail though. 2 members go down, and that is that entirety of the time, you know, Ninjestics was playing that position. It was able to give him enough space to make a cap, so we now are tied 2-2, and again, look how close this series is, Josh. Even if you want to talk about the kill disparity, but that still doesn't mean that Final Form aren't making up for that in the objectives that they're playing and how focused they are on gaining these positions.
Yeah, exactly. This reminds me of, what was it, the Stronghold, I think, that we saw these 2 playing, where I was saying that it was Direwolves that were being outslayed, but they were able to get the points on the board. So, anyway, now we're seeing the reverse of that, right? As we're calling this, it's actually Direwolves that are able to get away with that flag. I don't know how far they're going to get, though. Zerkil, unfortunately for him, shut down. We'll see if they can keep this flag alive here, Bluey.
Just stopped car 1 here. 2 members of Final Form trying to collapse on that flag. The nades ringing out true. Gotta love those infinite nades coming in strong. And it looks like Direwolves are going to be able to grab this flag once again, take it a bit further. Do get picked off. But see, the thing is, Balds and Vaampt are both there to grab that flag. Not just for the cap, but just to keep it alive. Junior does go in. Nice little dashing play over Balds there. Can he get the re? Does not quite, but he should have 2 members here to back him up. The rest of the members of Direwolves are spawning back base / fridge side. So they should have enough time here, and they do get the re, so that is massive for them. They have bought themselves some time.
Let's hope that they can, you know, capitalize on the time that they've got. 2 players down for each team at the moment. Jordon caught in that 1v1 versus Vaampt. Fair and square fight in the playground. 1v1, and it was going to be Vaampt that comes out on top, but unfortunately then the bully came in and smacked him down as well. We're going to be moving on from that. Junior now trying to work his way around this map. Does pick up the sidekick. Shots ringing out over on Bald. He's going to be tagged up. Does get a smack into Zerkil before he falls, and Zerkil was cleaned up. 3 players down for Final Form. Opportunity for Direwolves to capitalize and make something happen. Hopefully get that flag out. Not looking like it's going to happen here. That nade coming out. Cleaning up Junior, but doesn't spot Jordon from behind. Jordon was no shield as well. That would have been a quick smack if you spotted him just half a second sooner. Unfortunately, wasn't going to happen. Flag still out right now. And I think it may be on the move. Yes, it is. You do see Zerkil moving that for Direwolves right now. Opportunity as Deano and Bald both pick up kills as well. So that flag should be through, Bluey.
Looks like it's moving. Going through the util side right now. Deano coming face to face with Jordon gets the smackdown. There is an opportunity to maybe get a little bit of counter cap footing right now, but it just looks like so many members of Final Form go down at the most inopportune times. They never just manage to recover. There's no recovery for them, I think, on the majority of these flags, whereas Direwolves made a very convincing counter cap, and then just followed that up with constantly just pushing past that halfway point on the map, getting the kills, and then at least being able to touch foot in Final Form's base, which is something that Final Form hasn't been able to do for a while now.
Double kill to Zerkil, and he's going to be rewarded with that camo as well. He should be able to get away with it, and he does. Nice little move there to stay around top mid. Does spot Ninjestics. Oh, Ninjestics.
Oh, no.
The awareness, though. That's crazy. Nice work to keep this alive, this life going for Zerkil. Does get the assist. 3 players down for final form now. Massive opportunity here. Massive for Direwolves. Zerkil should be able to clean up this kill depending where it was. Ball has actually dropped. And this flag should be away. Benji wrapping around with the flank, which is what you want to do given the spawn that he had. He should just throw flag out the front of the base. Ball's back here as well. There you go. There's a flag thrown out the front as you would expect. And now it's going to be up to keeping this flag alive for final form, just to stop the cap from Direwolves. And it looks like they may have actually done that there, Bluey.
Ball up to Junior there. Down on the Direwolves plat, putting out as much damage. Ninjestics came from the back as well. So we do see the flag capped, but we're going to need the re. See, this is why at these points, especially in these flag games, things can go wrong very, very quickly. There's so much that both teams have to consider now. How much do we want to overextend? Can we recapture our flag? Do we want to send all 4 players out? And it just looks like at the moment that those moment-to-moment decisions fell by the wayside for final form. Now Direwolves 4 flags, and this looks like, Josh, only 5 seconds left. Direwolves are going to do it. Direwolves are going to pull it out, and I can't say that I'm shocked. I just can't.
Guys and gals, we're seeing a victory here to Direwolves, map number 4 in our grand final, 4-2 in the CTF. We're going the distance for a second time. Direwolves are forcing a game number 5 up against final form. And look, I'm not saying that correlation is causation here, Bluey, but, Benji kind of pooped the bed on that one compared to his normal performance. Vaampt did not. He popped off. And as I said, we're talking about a 50-50 thing here, but I mean, just based off that alone, Direwolves, they got the win 4-2, and we're going to game 5. Look, it was very, very close all the way up until those last few plays where Direwolves were able to compose, bring it together, and final form just couldn't keep themselves together, couldn't keep the squad going, and there was 1 or 2 plays there that unfortunately just didn't come to fruition. And Vaampt there, what more can you say? 27-19, he got assists, he did everything for the squad.
There was something that just wasn't quite clicking for final form during that game, and I think that's very evident. Maybe looking at Benji alone isn't, where, our focus should be. I think maybe it just comes from the communication, where everyone's footing was the map. I want to say that there were plenty of times that I noticed Jordon pushing Direwolves, blue util side, but he was completely on his own, completely outmatched, and then all of a sudden that just sets yourself up for a constant 3v4 against Direwolves. You're always on the back foot, and I felt like that's where they were excessively, over and over and over again. It's something that just should have been reined in a lot earlier on in the game than what it was.
Now we're going to be heading into this next game, Game 5 Grand Final, after a Game 5 Winners Bracket Final. If Direwolves win this final Slayer, we are resetting the bracket. We're going to yet another best of 5 between these teams. It may just happen, and it's all going to come down to Slayer and Livefire. Now keep in mind, when we were last on Livefire, it was really hotly contested, but it was final form that came out with the win on Strongholds. However, it wasn't a Slayer, obviously, and the Slayer went to Direwolves. So the game type to Direwolves, the map to final form. What a shocker. How do you call that? Just the fact that we're going back and forth between these teams. I know I was calling out Direwolves for really wanting to go the distance on this one. I think it's respectable what they've done so far. I don't think that final form are going to let up another Slayer. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they looked really good on Livefire. They know how to move around the map. And I also don't think it'll come down to one player, but I don't think that Benji is going to fall again. Because what we're seeing is like, you're on a game, you're on off a game. You're on a game, you're off a game. So all right, he just had an off game. Is he back?
Yeah, no, exactly. Coming into the Slayer on Livefire as well, looking back at how they played that Strongholds on live fire, that is very correct. I think they just knew how to rotate around the map better. I think they knew how to play those power positions a lot better than what Direwolves did. Unless Direwolves all of a sudden realizes that in their first game on Strongholds, it wasn't the best. They didn't come out, you know, striking the coal and the fire as much as they could have. Maybe they'd make that adjustment, though. Maybe they're in a position now where they realize they can have a bracket reset. They can really take it to final form, and they have a fire lit underneath them to do that. You know, that being said, I want to agree with you, Josh. I honestly do, that final form won't let this slip from them, but it's too hard to say, you know. I can't, either way, I can't say that I'll be shocked once again.
Yeah, it's so incredibly difficult to call. And I think that, you know, just for, I guess, the narrative more than anything else, I'd like to kind of see a reset. You know, our first Pro Series, Direwolves against all odds, you know, they're playing at, what is it now, 2:30 a.m. local time for them. And there's a possibility of a bracket reset. You know, Vamp's going to be fired from his job. You know, he's kind of. I'm kidding, but no, it's getting intense. You know, and I feel like I have to make a retraction, at least a little bit, Blue. I was kind of ruthless and said, you know, I'm not going to take fatigue as an excuse. Well, I'll tell you what. If you're going to reset the bracket and start a series at close to 3 a.m., yeah, okay, I might give it to you.
Yeah, I think if that's the case, then they probably can have that little handicap next to their name. But hey, we're yet to see if that reset actually goes through. We're yet to see, you know, final form. Hopefully they come out of the gate swinging for the sake of all of us and everyone at home. They're our little nap time saviors, because I can tell that for these players, you know, getting to these early morning hours, it's going to be tough, and it's going to be even tougher for them if they keep going the way they do.
Bald going to be trying to make the reset happen. We'll see how he goes. You see Jordon just fell with that snipe in hand. Things all even in the first 30 seconds of this game, to the surprise of absolutely no one. Vaampt now, he's one of those, you know, X-Factor players to look out for. He popped off in the last one, looking for him to go again. And, you know, small things I find interesting, like that they both had 2 kills off the start, but Abenjy deciding to show off, coming through and getting that double. Deano and Zerkil answering back, though. And again, we're going kill for kill here, Bluey. 6 kills apiece here. Just waiting to see which of these teams can get a leg up and a bit of an advantage in the series.
It's going to take those small little micro adjustments throughout this game to really solidify who's in top position right now. It's going to be a lot of corrections need to be made, a lot of mistakes that need to be adjusted for right now, and maybe taking on those 2v1 instances, one of those things that need to be corrected. You can't be falling like that right now, because you're going to see more and more of those kind of kills start to ring out as the game progresses. Ninjestics right now caught over on A on his own, gets pinched, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Jordon might be able to take this kill here. He does. Picks himself up. I believe that was a double kill. Trades with the melee, doesn't quite get the kill though. And we just want to see these collapses coming in from final form. That's really where they need to start going right now. Ninjestics on a goose egg. Unfortunately going 0-4 for him, something that we're not usually used to seeing Ninjestics do. Hopefully them securing this OS might change that in the favor of final form.
Junior has it in hand. His teammate Jordon picked up a kill there. The PV, though, they need to watch out for that. Sneaky plays on Direwolves. Heads up plays, it should be said. Forced to back up here, and they didn't really do anything with that overshield, you know? They didn't have a chance to there, Bluey.
No, yeah, there wasn't really anything they could do. If anything, they were just looking to deny it out of the hands of Direwolves, even if they have to sack themselves a little bit. But again, looking at that play, you got to ask yourself, was it really worth it? Could your positioning have been better there? I mean, of course it could have. But at the moments like this, when everything is on the line, you know, a bracket reset potential is on the line. Can't be making mistakes like that in this hour of crisis.
Ninjestics 0-7. Yeah, yes, he's got 4 assists, which to be fair is the most on the team. But you can't go 0-7, man. Not in the grand final. Game 5 Slayer, you can't be doing that. And who knows why that is. Maybe it's just the assist that he's got there and not able to finish up the kills. Maybe it's Abenjy there, just vacuuming them all up, you know. being janitor for the squad. Regardless, they're going to need to pick it up. You know, only behind by 2. But it's kind of funny to say that, you know, that's a big gap when they're going 1 for 1.
Here we go, melee on either side. Ninjestics does manage to get the kill though. So good on him for that one. They now lead the score by 1, 22-21, and aBenjy appears to have sniper in hand. Let's hope he can make some quick work of it. Unfortunately, that was not a headshot that connected. Hoping he doesn't go down the vent there. I don't think that would be a smart decision, as they have all, 3 players, not all of, but 3 players pinned in back A. I don't understand why they took those fights though. 2 members, Jordon and Junior, did burst into A, and unfortunately just get absolutely smacked. But nice. aBenjy smacks back with that no-scope. Doesn't connect with the second one though. Needs to get out of there. Good stuff. Good use of that single repulse there. Fantastic play on his end, and all of his team manages to collapse on him. This could be the turning point right now, Josh. We're seeing aBenjy with both Sniper and OS will be able to tank a few more shots, and does still have 4 more bullets left in that sniper.
Yeah, I think this is up to aBenjy here. He takes down Vaampt. There's another one in front. Gets shots out with that sniper. Somehow misses with it. Ooh. Able to get the assist, though. And look at this. Before you know it, it's a bit of a blowout. Funny to say 4 kills is a blowout, but it is so far. 29 and 25. Shots come from the rear here. Who is this playing the do-si-do? It's going to be Deano. He gets smacked there by Junior, picking up the kill, hitting 30 points. 31 now to the 25 of Direwolves. And a player disconnects. Are you kidding me? We're in a Slayer, though, so I'm going to need the admins to tell me what happens there. While we wait for the admins, we're going to play on here. I genuinely... Nope, there we go. We've got the end. Dude,
this really, really hurts.
How? I can't even here. I don't understand. They're not going to take it from the score where it was. My understanding is they will play until 45 for final form or 50 for Direwolves. Production team, if you could confirm for me that's correct, we'll carry on from here, Bluey.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, sure thing. Let's get right into it. You know, aBenjy was already picking himself up a double kill there. So if we are paying to 45, that means only 43 kills left for final form, which, you know, is a huge difference maker, especially when it comes to a Slayer like this. Did actually manage to drop that sniper off for aBenjy, but as we're seeing it right now, again, with how close these teams are, it's so back and forth already. Hard to define who's really going to come out on top on this one. It doesn't really seem like either team changed their strategy coming into this. Maybe you could say that Direwolves are playing a little bit more aggressively, and what we're seeing here is Final Form definitely took a different approach with their tower setup with Snipe than what we saw previously. So that's something new, but overall seems pretty much the same.
Yeah, and it's a great start for Final Form. I just want to say, for the record, you can sign, seal, and deliver this one. 5 kill difference, and they will play as if it's a reset, but with that 5 kill advantage. What that means is, to win, Final Form need 45 kills. To win, Direwolves need 50 kills. And as a reminder, after all of the shenanigans, if Direwolves win, we've got a bracket reset, baby. So I hope you've had your caffeine as we kick on through the night. Let's, now with all that aside, let's try and pick it back up from the action we've got in front of us. You've got a score here of 8 kills apiece for Direwolves and Final Form. And both teams trying to take out the first dub here of the Pro Series for Season 2.
Good stuff so far coming out from both teams again. So evenly matched. Sniper in the hands of Vaampt. 1 bullet left to go. Doesn't connect with it though. Coming face to face with Jordon right now. Dancing around this pole. Trying to secure OS. Doesn't look like it goes in his favor. Ninjestics just sitting back. Trying to be a bit sneaky. I'm pretty sure they did deny that OS from falling in the hands of Direwolves. Deano is the last one alive for Direwolves here as he does pick it up. Manages to activate it himself. So now we've got a bit of a tank on the side of Direwolves, being able to just go through those shots, maybe tank a couple of grenades, just try to make enough space for his team here. They can really make something happen. Right now, it's only 1 kill the difference, 13-12. In hands of Final Form. Remember, 45 kills Final Form needs on the board. 45 kills for Final Form, whereas Direwolves need to go the whole distance and secure themselves 50.
Deano here trying to do it again. He gets a smackdown on aBenjy. 14 kills apiece, make that 15 to Final Form as Jordon gets Bald's number. Snipe coming up here. Deano should be in a position to grab that. You got 2 players here from Direwolves over in Big Door. Pushing past Snipe is going to be Deano. Pushing out, getting a smackdown, following up with the AR before Benji cleans them up, and it's going to be Junior who gets away with the snipe. Spots one. Not able to connect with anything, and I think it's pretty wise of him to back up here. There's Deano. He does connect with that shoulder shot. No one available to clean it up, though. He's going to have to wrap around, get the assist for Zerkil to go down. Benji picks up 2. It's looking pretty good here for Final Form. They've got the setup, but they just need to make sure they don't push this advantage too hard, because this is what we're seeing. Look, Ninjestics here's got the C plat. Deano's down low. They've got the snipe on the back stairs. I think they just need to watch it, right? Oh my gosh, Junior. I'll tell you what, it also helps just to hit shots like that.
Junior finally connecting with a good shot there, denying the oval presence from the members of Direwolves. We can see one member down on bottom tower. He can hear it though. Good communication coming out to collapse on him. But we see 2 players out near Rat's Nest, maybe rotating mud. No, still both of them sticking Rat's Nest up on bridge. 2 of them drop down pillar side. Ninjestics looking to chase here as he does have that OS, so he's definitely got a shield advantage. Swooping out these players here, chucking a couple nades, seeing what information he can collect. Vaampt from the Direwolf side, trying to pinch right now, does get taken down. Balls is top mid, does get taken out by Junior with that snipe. Junior's all up in his lonesome. He's probably going to get repulsed here, but that's not enough damage to really make him want to step down. Deano still, as we've seen tonight, plenty of times just snaking away with his life, but he does get taken down, so Jordon does pick up that assist. And again, it's still so close. The score is beginning to bleed out a little bit in the favor of Final Form. Remember, for those of you watching at home, Final Form needs to get to 45 in order to secure this game and send Direwolves to bed. A much-earned rest for the team of Direwolves.
I think they've all earned a well-earned rest after the saga that has been Pro Series 5 today. Look, both teams played valiantly no matter the result we get at the end of this grand final. Final Form, though, seem to be really popping off. And Junior, I think he's just said he's done with today, mate. He's 11-5. He's decided that he just wants it done. Same with Jordon, who, you know, it doesn't show on the scoreboard. You know, it says 8-8, but I swear, every time we mention Jordon, he's getting crazy double kills. And Benji putting that heat wave to work as well. This has become a blowout here. 35-25, make it 36. 9 kills, 9 required. Make it 8 for our Final Form to wrap up the grand final here in this Pro Series Blue.
Seem to be taking it a lot more convincingly than that previous round with how close-knit the game was, but they are taking the score and making sure that it bleeds out as much as possible. Father Benji and TJJunior, of course, you can see on that top left leaderboard, both on 11 kills themselves, both on 11 and 6. As a matter of fact, make that 12 and 6, 13 and 6 for Benji as he picks himself up a snappy little double kill there with the heat wave. Fantastic movement and awareness, communication coming out from the whole team. Just working together so well as a 4. And Ninjestics, I like this repulse play, just making sure that he gets up on that high ground, looking over Jordan's side to provide him with a little bit of backup. Obviously, the communication has come around that a member from Direwolves is in mud, and another one is on Rat's Nest. But Ninjestics just bleeding his OS there. Didn't really manage to use it the way he wanted to, but Jordan's got his back with a 6 snipe coming on a Vaampt.
And now Jordan's going to be trying to put this snipe to use. 42-29, 3 kills required for Final Form. Make that 2 as you're going to have Ninjestics pick up the kill on Zerkil. It's coming down to the wire. 1 final kill required here for Final Form. You've got Jordon. He's got the montage maker. Give me the highlight reel, baby. Junior gets the final kill, ladies and gentlemen. After one hell of a grand final, one hell of a Pro Series, it's going to be Final Form wrapping things up unconventionally, but convincingly. 45-29, which of course was going to result in 50-29 being the formal score in that final game, in that best of 5. Luke, we made it. We made it. We're all going to make it. Big shout out, of course, to both teams, but Final Form get the dub here today.
Yeah, big shout out to the boys of Direwolves, I think, is obviously because it is now almost cracking 1 AM here on the eastern coast of Australia, and these guys are absolutely knackered, I think. 3 AM for the boys over in New Zealand. They were able to go all the way to 5 games once again against Final Form, but this time around, unfortunately, they weren't able to get the dub and get the bracket reset, send us to another best of 5. But congrats to Final Form. They get themselves a Pro Series victory here. They get the entire championship without dropping a single series, Bluey. They went the distance in a couple of them, but not dropping a single series throughout the entirety of today.
You know what? Overall, it's a narrative that we repeated all throughout the night every time these teams faced off each other, but it was so close, and it was such hard-fought battle for both of them. I want to give huge props to both of these teams because, of course, especially for our boys on the Direwolves over in New Zealand, it is getting very early into the wee hours of the morning for them, and they still pushed through. They still stuck it out. I feel like, you know, you don't really want to give them the cop-out of, oh, you know, it was just fatigue, it was just something like that. But maybe, just maybe, if this was all a little bit earlier for them, if it was more of a daytime thing, and hell, maybe even on land when we get to it eventually, it'll be a different story. We'll see a different storyline come out from the boys of the Direwolves. But overall, fantastic series to watch from both of these teams. They did so well. Can't say I'm surprised by the results, you know, looking at it. Final Form were taking those games so convincingly throughout the night, showing up when it really mattered. And again, another point that we kept talking about was just the individual performances from members of Final Form.